Happy Monday, and welcome to another episode of Cases That Should Have Gone to the Supreme Court of Canada, but didn't. Today we're talking about no-fault insurance. Cases that should have gone to the Supreme Court of Canada, but didn't. Two insured individuals applied for leave to the Supreme Court of Canada on the issue of what constitutes injuries arising from a motor vehicle accident. In no-fault insurance schemes, like we have in British Columbia or in Saskatchewan, you don't get the right to sue for injuries that you received in a motor vehicle accident. You essentially get compensation under a no-fault scheme dealt with by the insurer directly. There are some mechanisms of appealing their determinations, but it's much more constrained than a typical civil trial process where you would sue the other person and a court would determine what compensation you're entitled to, including compensation for things like pain and suffering. Unfortunately, the court denied leave to hear these two cases, and both of them are very interesting. There are situations where there were injuries that were suffered not as a result of a motor vehicle accident and injuries suffered in a motor vehicle accident. And the insurer determined that the no-fault scheme didn't apply and that the individuals were not injured in motor vehicle accidents. But the question is so much broader. For example, in British Columbia, there is a prohibition on bringing any lawsuit against anybody for injuries sustained in a motor vehicle accident. One of the facts in one of the cases that was sought to seek leave from the Supreme Court of Canada involved an individual who was shot. And while he was bleeding and had been shot in the head, he got into a vehicle and drove before losing consciousness and crashing the vehicle. He tried to get no-fault compensation for the injuries sustained in the accident, and the insurer said, no, your injuries were caused by a gunshot. But if he were to attempt to bring a lawsuit, inevitably, the government would turn around and try and say, you can't bring that lawsuit on the basis of the fact that your injuries were sustained in a motor vehicle collision. And there is sort of a causal and contextual relationship between the two things. So having the Supreme Court of Canada identify what in fact is injuries caused in a motor vehicle accident doesn't just help to resolve the law for these two individuals, doesn't just help to resolve the law in Saskatchewan, it helps to improve access to justice across the country, especially as no-fault insurance becomes more and more common because it saves governments and insurance companies money. By allowing a better definition of where that causation element related to motor vehicles does start and end, the Supreme Court of Canada could have helped numerous people receive compensation for injuries sustained around motor vehicle accidents or involving motor vehicle accidents, but not necessarily in motor vehicle accidents, while still being covered by insurance. It's unfortunate the Supreme Court of Canada didn't recognize the way in which this will actually help to constrain government overreach and government prohibitions on people's exercise of their civil rights in Canada. Hopefully, there's another opportunity for the Supreme Court of Canada to really get into where the line is drawn on motor vehicle-related accident injuries versus injuries that were sustained in a motor vehicle but not as a result of a motor vehicle accident, to try and make the system more fair for everybody. Cases that should have gone to the Supreme Court of Canada, but didn't. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Cases that should have gone to the Supreme Court of Canada, but didn't. I'm Kyla Lee at Acumen Law Corporation. Please like, subscribe, and share with your friends.